काट दिया।
Opposition dismisses island drama.
आज जब हमारे रिश्ते दूसरे देशों के साथ जो हमारे पड़ोसी हैं वैसे ही बिगड़ रहे हैं, इस मुद्दे को उखाड़ने का कोई मतलब है नहीं।
External Affairs Minister now leads the BJP attack.
For a party which has been saying, how was Katchatheevu given away? How was state government not consulted? The fact is that actually there were consultations going on. They were kept fully informed.
Katchatheevu impact on Tamil Nadu polls. The big focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita, Nandagopal. And yes, this evening we're going to be getting you all the big reactions coming in on Katchatheevu. A term not many know of in Tamil Nadu, very, very familiar because it's been a part and parcel of Tamil Nadu politics for the last many, many years. But is this small strip of land just about 30 kilometers off the Indian coast between India and Sri Lanka that's now triggered a massive political war? We're going to be getting you all of that as part of our Indian Political League broadcast. And as always, over the next 1 hour on 6 p.m. Prime, we're not just getting you all that's happening in the world of politics, but also getting you all that's happening in the world of cricket. Nikhil Naz getting you all the latest from the Indian Premier League. Nikhil, good evening. What do you have in store for us?
Good evening, Akshita. I think this is our 5th to the 6th show of the season. Yep. I tell you what, I don't know whether it's because you're a Chennai Super Kings fan or if I'm an MS Dhoni fan. It happens to be our third particular segment focusing on guess who? MS Dhoni. So that's coming up at 6:40 p.m.
Okay, so you can expect a whole lot of action, political and cricketing from Chennai coming your way over the next 1 hour. Thanks very much, Nikhil. All the updates on the Indian Premier League coming your way at 6:30 this evening. Let's begin with the headlines. Arvind Kejriwal lodged in Tihar jail. Sources say the Delhi Chief Minister will be in jail number 2. ED claims Kejriwal alleged accused Vijay Nair reported to Atishi and Saurabh Bharadwaj. Relief for the Congress in its fund war. Income Tax Department says it will not press for recovery of money till the end of the Lok Sabha elections. BJP moves Election Commission against Rahul Gandhi. BJP hits out at Rahul's match-fixing claims at Sunday's mega India bloc rally. Says Rahul Gandhi is frustrated and stooping to new lows. Supreme Court allows puja to continue in Gyanvapi Tehkhana. Top court says Sellar puja status quo will not be altered, but also reiterates that Muslims can continue to offer prayers in the mosque. In the Bhojshala dispute, big setback for the Muslim side as Supreme Court refuses to stay ASI survey at the Bhojshala temple complex in Madhya Pradesh's Dhar. And in international news, Turkish President Erdogan suffers shock defeat in key local polls. Opposition stuns Erdogan with a historic victory in big cities like Istanbul. Turkish President says mistakes will be corrected. Now, a land of about 200 acres just south of Tamil Nadu, 33 kilometers from the Indian coast, is now in the midst of a political storm, not just in Tamil Nadu, across the country. If you hail from Tamil Nadu, we're sure you've heard, in fact, of the Katchatheevu Island controversy. It's something that's dominated political headlines in Tamil Nadu for the last many years, finding a mention in manifestos before elections and whatnot. This time is the BJP that's raised this with an RTI reply that they've put out to allege that Indira Gandhi ceded territory to Sri Lanka with absolutely no fight back in 1974. As part of this RTI revelation, the BJP has also put out statements by Jawaharlal Nehru, by former Prime Minister, where he says quite simply nobody cares about that island. Is this an issue that can actually resonate in Tamil Nadu? Because the BJP clearly is talking about it with an eye on the Tamil Nadu elections, which is happening in phase 1 on April 19th. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Let's round up first for you all the reactions in our report.
political row over Katchatheevu Island escalates. External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar on Monday launched a scathing critique of the Congress and DMK, claiming the island was ceded to Sri Lanka during Indira Gandhi's tenure. Jaishankar emphasized India's long-standing historical claims to Katchatheevu and alleged the Congress had dismissed it as an island of little importance.
Whether it was Pandit Nehru or whether it was Indira Gandhi, this very dismissive attitude, this little rock, this small island of no importance, this was the historic Congress attitude towards Katchatheevu.
The controversy erupted after an RTI reply to Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai said that the transfer occurred in 1974. It claimed then Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M Karunanidhi was informed about the decision. The RTI reply shed light on Prime Minister Nehru's stance on the matter, as he deemed the island of little strategic importance. Prime Minister Narendra Modi cited the RTI response to target the opposition at a rally in Meerut on Sunday.
कांग्रेस ने 4-5 दशक पहले कह दिया कि ये द्वीप तो गैर जरूरी है। ये कांग्रेस के लोगों ने, इंडियन अलायंस के साथियों ने मां भारती का एक अंग काट दिया।
2015. The opposition hit back at the BJP. Shiv Sena UBT MP Priyanka Chaturvedi tweeted an earlier RTI reply by the Modi government in 2015, which stated that the island was neither ceded or acquired.
I'll only go by the RTI statement that was responded to by the Ministry of External Affairs. Neither the Katchatheevu Island has been acquired or ceded by India. So that clearly shows that there has been a shift in stance from 2015 to 2024 by Indian government, and that is unfortunate. Today, Prime Minister is using it for his political narrative, for his political gain to get a few seats in Tamil Nadu.
The Congress and DMK accused the BJP of raking up old issues for political gains.
Why are you raking up something after 50 years? Why are you not talking about what happened in the last 2-3 years?
For the past 10 years, the government is run by the BJP. And Jaishankar is the External Affairs Minister. Had he ever, and our leader had written many letters to him. He himself accepts that he had sent 21 letters to my CM. Has he ever stated that they will go have a talk with the Sri Lankan government and take back Katchatheevu?
Tamil Nadu is crucial for the BJP to meet their target set for the NDA to win 400 Lok Sabha seats. Will the Katchatheevu issue give the BJP the momentum it is looking for in the southern state? Bureau Report, India Today.
So just for the unversed, let's begin with the Katchatheevu Island. Where is this placed? Why is it of strategic importance to India? Why is the BJP raising this issue right now? This is a small strip of land very, very close to India. It's placed right here between Sri Lanka and India. So it's about 285 acre stretch. So it's a tiny strip of land, an island if you will, located just 33 kilometers from the Indian coast. The last point in Tamil Nadu is of course Dhanushkodi. So right below that, about 30 kilometers away is Katchatheevu. So it's located between Rameshwaram, Dhanushkodi is right there with Rameshwaram, and Sri Lanka. So this island was used by fishermen from both India and from Sri Lanka, which is why it was a big, big bone of contention, which is why the BJP today is saying that the Congress and the DMK let out the farmers and ensure the fishermen and didn't stand up for their cause. Initially, it was a part of the Madras presidency, and there was a dispute that played out between India and Sri Lanka since the British era. Now, the contention is that there was solid evidence that if we had taken this to the international courts, this piece of land could very much have been a part of India. And yet, because there was no fight put up, it went to Sri Lanka. There was dispute over fishing rights around the island all through. In fact, since the British era, both Indian fishermen as well as Lankan fishermen have been fighting it out. Now, it's very clearly Sri Lankan territory since the 1974 agreement, of course. Let's tell you right now about the island controversy. Why has it now come up? If this is an agreement signed in 1974, why are we talking about it today? Because of an RTI reply, which has given our details. And according to the RTI reply, what it confirms essentially is that this island was ceded to Sri Lanka by the former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Besides that, it was handed over in 1974 by the Indira government to Sri Lanka with absolutely no dispute. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The DMK was very much in the know-how. The then Chief Minister Karunanidhi was taken into confidence on Katchatheevu. There are multiple records that confirm that, yes, there was non-stop correspondence between the central government and the state that told and communicated to then Chief Minister Karunanidhi that this is going to happen, and there was no sort of objection or opposition put forth. The Foreign Secretary then was non-stop corresponding. Now, Nehru also, according to this RTI reply, now this is what's led to a bigger showdown. You've got the BJP constantly raising what Nehru said about Katchatheevu, saying that this small island holds absolutely no importance for us and won't hesitate in giving up this island. A few years after this comment was made by Jawaharlal Nehru, that's exactly what happened. This land was given over, handed over essentially in a platter to Sri Lanka. But like I said, this has been a big political talking point in Tamil Nadu previously as well. Now, it's in the national spotlight because you've got many demands from regional parties in Tamil Nadu saying we should bring back Katchatheevu because it will help fishermen of Rameshwaram. So will this be a big political talking point or not is the question. All right, joining me live here on 6 p.m. Prime on India Today is Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha MP, Member of Parliament. Priyanka Chaturvedi put out a very interesting social media post. And Priyanka, if I can begin with that. You've said that it's hypocritical of the BJP to talk about Katchatheevu today and to raise this RTI reply. Why is that?
No, I don't call it hypocritical. I call it dangerous. I call it dangerous because it goes against India's integral interest, India's national interest. And it's also diabolical because there are two different responses and two different stances on this issue by the same government. When the Prime Minister yesterday spoke about an RTI which has come out recently and it was covered by a leading newspaper, it said that we had ceded space. India's first woman Prime Minister, whose national integrity and whose interest in nationalism cannot be questioned by far, who had divided Pakistan into two for India's interest, is being doubted, and her choices and what steps she's taken are being questioned. Is being maligned by the current Prime Minister, keeping in mind his political interest in Tamil Nadu. The RTI that he was quoting has been filed by an office bearer of the Bharatiya Janata Party, who happens to be the president of the Tamil Nadu Bharatiya Janata Party unit, who himself is contesting an election, and as per that, we have ceded that space. Now, I have an RTI in front of me which is of 2015. 2015, the same Ministry of External Affairs has said on this issue on Katchatheevu, this did not involve either acquiring or ceding of territory belonging to India since the area in question had never been demarcated. So we are changing our stance because of our political interest, and that is unfortunate. Today you are risking the lives of fishermen by saying that this particular island has been handed over to Sri Lanka. Whereas I can quote another RTI to you, 2013, which says that we have a copy of the agreement on the boundary in historic waters between two countries and related matters signed on 26 June 1976 under Article 5 and under Article 6 of the same document, which has been signed by both India and Sri Lanka. It says the vessels of Sri Lanka and India will enjoy in each other's waters such rights as they have been traditionally enjoying. So this is absolutely diabolical. That to ensure that you win 1 or 2 odd seats as members of parliament, the Bharatiya Janata Party, you all are taking, you're doing away with national integrity.
But Priyanka Chaturvedi, you've cited a 2013 RTI reply, you've cited a 2015 RTI reply, and fair enough, those points are valid, I take that on record. Keeping aside the BJP for a moment here, yes, you said that all of this is being done for political mileage. It doesn't change the fact, Priyanka Chaturvedi, that the Congress and DMK together let Katchatheevu go.
No, again I'm repeating to you, and let me repeat this to you, please. Do not keep, using the same narrative that is being pushed by the Prime Minister for his political interest. I'm sorry. Let me repeat what has been our stance as far as 2015. The same government, the Foreign Minister who did a press conference today was then the Foreign Secretary. Sushma Swaraj was the Foreign Affairs Minister. Did not involve either acquiring or ceding of territory belonging to India, since the area in question has never been demarcated. And again, I'm reading out that signed document of 1976, which under Article 5 and Article 6, which has been signed by both the nations, says no visa would be required, no travel documents would be required for Indians traveling to this particular island, or for Sri Lanka to be traveling there.
I take your point.
The second thing we have said is vessels of Sri Lanka and India under Article 6.
No, but I take your point, Priyanka. Let's say, let's take the word ceded out of it. Let's say it wasn't ceded in the official definition of the term. The reality is, however, that India didn't put up a fight when it should have for Katchatheevu. It doesn't take away from the fact that Katchatheevu is not with India, it's with Sri Lanka. And there was a 1974 agreement.
Okay, so now I have a question to give you. Did India have any documents? Can you bring out any documents in terms of ownership? Today, when the Prime Minister
it wasn't the Madras presidency.
Bangladesh to do away with some territory of Indian territory to Bangladesh, does that mean that he put India's integrity at stake, or that he undermined himself, or for his political self-interest he gave away some land? It was a land border agreement, land boundary agreement, and if you go by the RTI, it clearly states that there was no Indian land at stake here. That's point one. Now, point two. Will you all be able to ask the question of the Prime Minister? Okay, you're raking an issue 40 years old, and consecutive governments have worked towards ensuring that the fishermen's interest is not lost, and every successive government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has worked to release them or to ensure that there's no harm done to them. My question to you would be, would someone ask the Prime Minister that what is his thought on the ceding away space to China in Arunachal Pradesh and Ladakh? Would their office bearer file an RTI, and will the government of India be as generous in sharing information as they've shared with on this particular issue? And where there are three different stances altogether of the Ministry of External Affairs? Would that RTI be able to tell us that why is it that China has renamed 30 cities of Arunachal Pradesh?
You've raised China. You've raised China repeatedly, Priyanka. The BJP maintains no land has been ceded there. So what's your response to that?
That's something that even the Prime Minister said post the Galwan Valley clashes. But there are enough and more reports out there in public domain. I would only ask the Prime Minister the same thing. Considering a BJP office bearer came up with this RTI, and you'll have given him a very detailed, I have the current RTI also, the detailed document that you'll have given a background history, a background note that has come from MEA on the basis of which all this argument is being made. We would request the Prime Minister, after his Jhula diplomacy, what has gone downhill, why has it gone downhill with China, and why is it that you'll continue to engage with China on the same very dispute that I'm talking about? Why is it that China has today gone and renamed 30 border towns of Arunachal Pradesh? I'm giving you facts of history. Let's have a detailed discussion on that as well. I will repeatedly raise China because that's a threat which we are all seeing. But the Prime Minister refuses to acknowledge. And we had a Minister of External Affairs who says, oh, since they are a bigger opponent, there's nothing much we can do. Isn't that also ceding India's interest? I think that is the question that needs to be asked. What you're discussing is a 40-year-old history. What you're not discussing is your tenure where you have ceded space to China without even getting into an agreement, which is in a win-win situation for India.
Okay, you've raised a valid point, and you're right in pointing out that this is a 40-year plus dispute that's now being raked up by the BJP. But thanks very much, Priyanka Chaturvedi, for taking the time out and joining us here on India Today. Priyanka Chaturvedi is one among the many opposition leaders who've questioned the timing of the Katchatheevu issue being brought up, and also highlighting previous RTI replies that said that no, this territory wasn't ceded. So it's interesting to really note the politics that's playing out on this. I want to put the focus, however, on the state of Tamil Nadu, because like I said from the beginning of this broadcast, this issue has been contentious for the last many years in Tamil Nadu. And joining me here on 6 p.m. Prime is Mr. T. Ramakrishnan, Senior Associate Editor of The Hindu, a senior journalist based in Chennai. Mr. Ramakrishnan, thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. Vanakkam to you. Can I just begin, sir, by starting off with, how the BJP has been talking about the DMK stand on this and how the then Chief Minister Karunanidhi was very much in the know-how. Why then did the DMK still raise Katchatheevu? And, they've mentioned it also in their manifesto, if I'm not wrong, several times.
See, first of all, I think let me clarify one or two things. There is even as late as July 2022, government took the stand that the Katchatheevu lay on the other side, that is on the Sri Lankan side of IMBL. So they gave government of the India Ministry of External Affairs, Minister of State, Mr. Muralidharan gave a reply to one of the questions raised by Mr. Vaiko in July 2022. So that's the stand that they have taken. And of course, they say that it is a subsidies. And as far as your questions are concerned, that is the DMK's position is that it opposed it was opposed to the ceding, or it was opposed to the agreement. Actually, Katchatheevu was given, you can say, was ceded to Sri Lanka as part of as a sequel to the signing of an agreement that is called International Maritime Boundary Line Agreement, IMBL. Okay, so whether the IMBL, so Katchatheevu should be on this side or that side, that was one of the issues. And of course, this issue was being debated between the two countries for more than 100 years. So that's between 1920, even before 1921, they started raising this matter. And so this issue had been there for over 100 years. So that's it's not a new or recent one. Of course, the government of I think the 1974, after the agreement was signed, I think the Tamil Nadu Assembly adopted a resolution opposing the ceding of Katchatheevu to Sri Lanka.
But how does that work, sir? Because, there are enough records that highlight that the then Chief Minister Karunanidhi was informed by the Indira government that they were going to do this.
No doubt, he was informed, he was consulted, and there was a meeting, I think, exactly a week before that. But the point was that as a matter of courtesy, I think he was informed, but the decision was taken at the highest level. And I think he understood the international ramifications also. So I am not here to say that Karunanidhi was unaware of this decision or unaware of what was going to happen a week later. But the point was that rather he didn't, during the meeting, as you say, that the records did not show that he opposed that proposal. Only thing he was asking whether a Prime Minister had sounded the opposition, or you can delay this matter, all that. But but he could understand that some sort of an understanding was being arrived at. The highest level in the two countries. So let me not block it. Maybe that would have been his strategy. Of course, he as a political leader of Tamil Nadu, of course, he didn't. The records even say that he could not take a position publicly in favor of the ceding of Katchatheevu. That's, I think. But the point is,
interesting. Interesting perspective that you've given us, sir, but I'll wrap it up here. Thanks very much for joining us. Essentially, you got the message also there on what the DMK stand is. Mr. Ramakrishnan confirming that, yes, the then Chief Minister did agree, but he also understood foreign policy and what it took for India and Sri Lanka to really arrive at this. This is clearly an issue that's going to continue to snowball, especially in the run-up to the elections in Tamil Nadu. But will it actually have any impact in the state, particularly in South Tamil Nadu, where the BJP is looking to make inroads? We'll know in the weeks to come. But on the other side of a short break here on India Today, I'm going to get you some very interesting numbers and analysis to explain to you why the Tamil Nadu battle is particularly interesting. The BJP is working hard to make inroads, but what will it take for BJP to actually go ahead and win a couple of seats? We'll break that down for you in just a bit.
unparalleled election coverage with the team that wins every election. From unmatched on-ground reporting to real-time poll updates. Stay tuned to the Maximum channel for the maximum coverage.
Platinum partner, Signature Finest Silver Elaichi, a premium product from Dilbagh.
Once again, India Today wins the best news channel of the year.
Thank you, ENBA, for all of these awards, all 108 of them. But for us viewers, the greatest reward and award is your trust. We're just weeks away from a high-powered, high-pressure elections, and I know that your trust will carry us through. Thank you.
ENBA Awards में हम हैं 400 पार.
Welcome back. Now, as the battle for Tamil Nadu is intensifying, remember that voting in Tamil Nadu is phase 1 on April 19th. And we at India Today, as part of our data intelligence unit, we've decoded for you what really BJP's mission Tamil Nadu looks like. They've been aggressively campaigning, but perhaps what it largely hinges upon is alliances. And here's why I say that. Now, if you look at the current numbers, and this is based on also the 2019 figures, where you had the DMK plus the allies, DMK plus Congress and all the other allies winning 38 seats out of 39, the AIADMK got 1. If you look at it with regards to vote share, about 21% was with AIADMK, 10% with NDA. Now, what will it take for a BJP and NDA to make inroads in Tamil Nadu? They're largely focused on Western and South Tamil Nadu. What that means is that they're trying to kind of eat into the AIADMK vote bank, into their vote share. If that actually happens, how much of a vote transfer do they need for it to translate into seats? So let's break that down for you. Now, if there is a 1/3, let's go back to the previous graphic, please, and I'll explain those numbers first before we come to this, which is if there's a 1/3 dent. Now, remember I said 21% vote share for the AIADMK, so that's 7%. Even if there's a 7% vote that goes to the NDA from the AIADMK, it makes no difference. At half dent, which is about 10% of the vote share, plus 10% that the NDA had, so 20% vote share still doesn't translate to seats. Even if a 2/3 vote share transfers from the AIADMK to the NDA in this election, it still won't make a difference. Let me again highlight for you, 21% AIADMK was their vote share in 2019, 10% was NDA. So keeping that as the benchmark, 1/3, half, 2/3 of a dent in the AIADMK vote share, and that being transferred to the NDA still means 0 for the BJP. Let's get up our next plate and show you what it takes for the NDA actually to get seats. And it's not the BJP, it's the NDA, because largely when you talk of AIADMK, it's the OPS factor and the TTV factor that will work the most, that will matter the most for the BJP. Now here we've said that, look, if If the AIADMK vote share doesn't cut it for the NDA and they're not getting numbers, what does it take? It takes transfer of votes from the India bloc, from the DMK Congress combined as well. So even if that happens, so let's say a 1/3 dent, which like I said was about 7% of 21% of the AIADMK vote share going to the NDA, plus the 10% vote share of the India bloc coming to the NDA, that will mean 1 seat for NDA. In the case of half of the AIADMK vote share being transferred, plus 10% of the India bloc coming to the NDA, it will mean 3 seats. Now, ideal scenario for the NDA would be this right here, but it's a very tall ask, which is a 2/3 dent of the AIADMK vote share out of 21%. That's a huge percentage that the NDA and the BJP will have to kind of get out, and then 10% of the DMK Congress vote share as well. All of that gets transferred, it will translate to a whopping 7 seats. They'll be very, very happy with that number. But even 3 seats, even 1 seat, you can see what it's actually going to take for the BJP and for the NDA, with the OPS TTV also in their camp, what it'll actually take for them to get some seats, to translate vote share into seat share. It's going to be a tall ask. And these are the numbers that show you why it's going to be a difficult task ahead for the BJP. Not impossible, but most definitely at the cost of the AIADMK, most definitely also has to be at the cost of the DMK Congress. They can't just get away with eating into the AIADMK vote share. They need to make a dent on the DMK Congress combined, on the India bloc as well. I want to bring in Pramod Madhav also live on this broadcast. Pramod, you know, if you look at this particular data, it's very, very clear that for the BJP to actually manage to make any sort of inroads, and I can see you're at a BJP rally, they are also largely dependent on their allies. OPS TTV Dinakaran will play a huge role in actually eating into an AIADMK vote share in West Tamil Nadu and South Tamil Nadu.
Well, Akshita, that seems to be the scenario in 2019, and earlier 2014 was entirely different, because in 2014, BJP had 1 MP, and that was Pon Radhakrishnan, and in 2019 it was NDA's like OP Ravindran. In fact, I also have Vinod P. Selvam, who is one of the candidates for Central Chennai over here. So let me just put that question to him. Vinod, this time you're one of the strongest allies. ADMK is not going to be with you. Will that cause any kind of issue with your vote percentage?
Yes, it would increase our vote percentage, in fact, because in 2021, we had to carry the baggage of the anti-incumbency of ADMK along with us, and we were only able to contest in 20 seats. So our vote percentage was much lower. This time, the Lotus symbol is contesting in over 23 seats, and the reception the people are giving, the Modi guarantee is working wonders amongst the people. People are desperate for governance. In the last 3 years of 33 months of DMK, there has been zero governance. So people are really looking forward for a good model of governance. They don't want to be fooled by false promises anymore. The fake Dravidian model.
Historically, AIADMK not being with you has not gone well for BJP in the present time. And even EPS is actually targeting BJP, claiming that AIADMK was the one that gave a recognition to BJP in the state of Tamil Nadu. Will you agree with that?
History is always rewritten. This is the year history will be rewritten in Tamil Nadu. It is going to be the new beginning of a fresh politics the people of Tamil Nadu have never seen. We're going to promise them the development which has not happened in the last 50 years. Tamil Nadu over 50 years has become stagnant. The poor have been poor. They have not been uplifted, because the Dravidian model basically is to ensure that the people stay innocent, the people remain in poverty, so they can buy their votes for elections and win by good margins. But this time people are clear.
So what is the vote percentage you're expecting for this election?
We're expecting victory, not just vote percentage. We're expecting victory. We're expecting several seats for the NDA this time. June 4th will mark the beginning of a new era in Tamil Nadu politics.
And that was Vinod Selvam Akshita, who is trying to say that like this time they're going to make victory. But even though AIADMK not being with them, there is another factor called as PMK that also plays a very important role in providing a kind of like vote percentage. And it looks like BJP is definitely betting on it, Akshita.
All right, Pramod, thanks very much for getting us that ground report from Chennai Central, where he's in conversation with Vinod P. Selvam, the BJP candidate. Let's cut across to breaking news coming in. Now, you got Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan lashing out at Rahul Gandhi, not holding back his words. He slammed Rahul for choosing once again to contest from Kerala, to contest from Wayanad. Remember that the left has fielded Annie Raja in Wayanad, saying we're not going to hold back just because Rahul Gandhi is fighting from here. The Kerala Chief Minister is questioning who is Rahul Gandhi actually fighting in Kerala. He's fighting against his own ally, against an India bloc ally. And Pinarayi Vijayan also asking why Rahul Gandhi is shying away from directly fighting the BJP. Let's play out for you some of the statements from Pinarayi Vijayan.
Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi എല്ലാം വഹിക്കുന്ന റോള് നമുക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം. രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധി ഇവിടെ വന്ന് ആരെയാ നേരിടുന്നത്? കേരളത്തിൽ വന്ന് സുരേന്ദ്രനെ നേരിടുകയാണെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ? BJPയെ നേരിടാനാണ് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്നതെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. ഇവിടെ LDF ആണല്ലോ പ്രധാന ശക്തി. LDFനെ നേരിടാനാണല്ലോ വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഇന്ത്യ എന്ന ഒരു സംവിധാനം രാജ്യത്ത് BJPക്ക് തടസ്സം നിൽക്കാൻ, BJP അധികാരത്തിൽ വരാൻ പാടില്ല എന്ന ദൃഢനിശ്ചയത്തോടെ ജനങ്ങൾ രൂപം നൽകിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ആ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു നേതാവ് ആ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ഭാഗമായുള്ള ഇവിടുത്തെ LDFനെതിരെ മത്സരിക്കാൻ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വരുന്നതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താണ്? അതല്ലേ ആദ്യം ആലോചിക്കേണ്ടത്. രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധി ഇവിടെ വന്ന് നേരിടുന്നത് ആനി രാജയാണ്. ആനി രാജ ദേശീയ തലത്തിൽ തന്നെ എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന ഒരു ഇടതുപക്ഷ നേതാവാണല്ലോ. അവരല്ലേ മണിപ്പൂരിൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ രാജ്യദ്രോഹിയായി ചിത്രീകരിക്കപ്പെട്ടിരുന്നത്? എന്തിനായിരുന്നു അത്? BJP ഗവൺമെന്റിന്റെ തെറ്റായ നടപടികൾക്കെതിരെ ശക്തമായ നിലപാടെടുത്തുകൊണ്ടല്ലേ. അവരുടെ നേതൃത്വത്തിലുള്ള ഫാക്ട് ഫൈൻഡിങ് സംവിധാനമല്ലേ അവിടെ എത്ര ക്രിസ്ത്യാനികൾ അതിക്രൂരമായി വേട്ടയാടപ്പെട്ടു എന്ന അവസ്ഥ പുറത്തു കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. എന്താണ് രാഹുൽ ഗാന്ധിക്ക് അന്നേരമുള്ള റോൾ അവിടെ?
All right, so the clear political face-off between left and Congress, allies outside of Kerala, enemies in Kerala, continues. Let's get you now a ground report from Andhra Pradesh, where it's not just the general election but also the assembly battle to watch out for. And in the heart of this is also Janasena Chief Pawan Kalyan, who's of course part of the NDA. He started off a Varahi Vijay Bheri Yatra from Pitapuram. This is where he's contesting from in the assembly elections. Here's a ground report by Apurva Jayachandran.
The temple town of Pitapuram is the epicenter of elections in Andhra Pradesh. Janasena Chief Pawan Kalyan is contesting from Pitapuram. His yatra, Varahi Vijay Bheri, has added a new dimension to the electoral contest.
All eyes on the quaint temple town of Pitapuram as the Janasena Party Chief Pawan Kalyan will be flagging off his election campaign from here. In fact, we are at the Ammavari Shakti Peetham, where Janasena Party Chief will first have his darshan here, following which he will go to the Dattatreya Ashram and offer his prayers. A massive rally is scheduled here at Pitapuram.
Pawan Kalyan's yatra attracts massive crowds as he is also known as Power Star in Andhra Pradesh for his power-packed performance in Telugu films.
This is the famous Varahi Yatra that is underway out here, and there you can see Janasena Party President Pawan Kalyan, who is addressing the media. This is day one of the Pittapuram election campaign that the Janasena Party President is undertaking. In fact, we're also getting to see how there are crowds of people who have gathered here just to watch Pawan Kalyan there.
It's my commitment to state and my commitment to the development of Pittapuram. And my commitment to Pittapuram is to make it as a role model constituency. Congress doesn't have any vote percentage here. The kind of damage Congress has done for the state in bifurcation. And Mr. Jagan has to, only one statement I say, just bye-bye Jagan. That's all I can say.
Janasena's Kakinada candidate for Lok Sabha election says that Pawan Kalyan's presence has electrified Pittapuram's atmosphere.
The feel is electrifying here, and the people are waiting since long. With lakhs of people are waiting since long to kickstart the campaign, and he's starting from Pittapuram, which is his own constituency, where he's going to win with a lakh majority and above. And it falls under the Kakinada Parliament, where I am the contestant of the Kakinada Parliament for the TDP, BJP and Janasena. So we both gonna win with the electrifying margins and more than a lakhs of margins.
Janasena led in alliance with the Telugu Desam Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party is all set to go to polls, with Andhra Pradesh contesting against the YSRCP and the Congress on May 13th, with the results out on June 4th. At Pittapuram, at the Janasena Varahi Yatra, Apurva Jayachandran with video journalist Damodar for India Today.
So that's a roundup of all the big political stories as part of the Indian Political League. Coming up on the other side with Nikhil Nas is the Indian Premier League highlights.
An unparalleled election coverage with the team that wins every election. From unmatched on-ground reporting to real-time poll updates. Stay tuned to the Maximum channel for the maximum coverage.
Platinum partner, Signature Finest Silver Elaichi, a premium product from Dilbagh.
देखिए आपको साफ देखने को मिल